This is the best mob XP farm for Minecraft Bedrock, and it's going to get you from level 0 all the way to level 50 in just about an hour, and on top of that, it's going to generate 3 double chests worth of items every single hour. This farm is absolutely insane, so settle in and let's build. Alright, the first thing you want to do is you want to find an area to build a farm in, preferably farther away from mountains if possible, and if you want to build it over an ocean, that's even better. Once you have a location picked out, we're going to take our scaffolding and we're going to build 72 blocks up into the sky. What this is going to do is it's going to make it so that we are not loading any entities on the ground. So when we're up there, we're loading nothing on the ground, which is going to make our farm even faster. And after building your Pillar of Doom, make sure not to fall off. So we're going to place down blocks going all the way around our scaffolding. So we're just going to place down a 3x3 of blocks with one scaffolding in the middle. From here, pick any direction because direction is kind of meaningless when you're this high up, and we're just going to extend it out. I'm going to go this way, so we're going to place down blocks going over here, so that way we have a 3x4. From here, pick a direction, either this side or this side. I'm going to pick this side, and we're going to build out 4 blocks. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we're going to finish this off to finish the platform, and then we're going to fill this in, leaving this 2x2 hole here because this is going to be where our trident killer goes. From here, we're going to go to our scaffolding, and we're going to climb down the scaffolding. We're going to go down 4 blocks. Once you're down 4 blocks, I do believe this is 4 blocks, we're going to place down a cobblestone, or any building block for that matter, and we're just going to make sure. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. From here, we can go ahead and wrap our cobblestone around just to make another platform, and this is going to be where our auto sorter goes. So all of the drops in this farm are going to be automatically sorted into the different types of items. We're going to have 1 chest for rotten flesh, 1 for bones, 1 for gunpowder, and 1 for arrows. And then of course we're going to have some overflow chests, but this is going to make the system so much cleaner. And honestly, I would much rather build this farm over a gunpowder farm. So if you're considering building this and a gunpowder farm, this thing is going to produce basically just as much gunpowder along with all of the other drops. That's why I thought it would be awesome to include an item sorter. That way it kind of feels like you have 4 farms in one. It's insane. If you already built my design that I released 3 weeks ago, then this is a really easy change. And from this point forward, these are the changes that you're going to want to apply to the farm that you currently have. And I will let you know when we are done making changes and your farm is completely updated. So we're going to continue. And continue we shall. We're going to take our building blocks now and build out 4 blocks, and then we're going to continue this out to the edge of our platform. So we're just going to connect this up just like so. Go ahead and fill this in, and this is just going to be a nice little safety net for when we are building our automatic sorter. That way we're not falling off, and I'm going to say not falling off is probably a good thing. So when it's all said and done, you should be left with this sized platform, which is a 9 block by 7 block platform. From here, we're going to grab our chests now, and we're going to place down a double chest right here, and then we're going to place down 5 more, bringing us to a total of 6 double chests. And as you saw, we extended the platform out by 1 block wide. So this is what it should look like. You should have 1 block on the edge. And again, this is the platform that I'm recommending you build, but obviously if you want to make a larger platform, you absolutely can. And if you want to add fences around here, you also very well can. In fact, I would highly recommend that because I can very much see a scenario where you're checking your chests and walk off the edge like I just did there. Now that you have your double chests in place, we're going to place down another row of chests now, bringing the total to 2 stacks of chests. And again, we're just going to shift onto those. If you're playing on console and you're wondering why you can't place your chests on top of one another, all you have to do is shift or crouch to place down your chest, just like I am here. So that would be pressing down on your joystick that you use to move. Once you have your 3 stacks of chests here, we're going to grab our hoppers now, and we're going to place hoppers running into the backs of each of these chests. From here, we're going to place down some temporary blocks above these chests. Actually, scratch that. We're going to grab our blocks, and we're going to place down blocks going up the sides of the chest over here. And then we're going to grab our stairs, which are in my inventory, and we're going to place upside down stairs going over top of these chests. That way we can open it, and also it just kind of makes the farm, or the farm look a little bit better. From the back now, what we need to do is we need to run hoppers going into these stairs. So we're going to run these hoppers going into the stairs. These are our item filter hoppers, so this is going to be where things are getting sorted out. And then what we have to do is we have to come up one block higher. Sorry, I got really confused there for a second. We are going to grab our blocks now, and we are going to add blocks to this layer right here. And then we're going to remove this block next to this hopper, break this block, and place down our hoppers going all the way across. So we're going to place down a block at the edge of these hoppers, then run our hoppers going across just like so, all the way over to this hopper right here. This hopper right here. There we go. Oh my god. It was hurting my head so much. Okay. Now that we have this hopper here, this thing is ready to be auto sorted when we get to that. But we're going to build the trident killer first. So we're going to grab our mud and place down the mud over top of those hoppers. And then we're going to grab our blocks and we're going to create a rim of blocks going all the way around the mud. From here, we're going to grab our pistons now, and we're going to place down a piston right here, and then every block in an alternating fashion, so you kind of have like a windmill of sorts. We're now going to grab our observers, and the observers are going to look into the corners of the farm, like so, and we're going to place down all of those. The reason we're using mud, by the way, is because mud will allow the mob drops to be picked up by those hoppers, which is a really cool thing, so you can use this in tons of farms. Mud is amazing. We are now going to grab our redstone torches, and we're going to place down redstone torches on the sides of these pistons so that the observers are looking at them. So let's go ahead and do that for all of these pistons now, just like so. From there, it's going to create a clock, and these pistons are just going to continuously be firing. We can now go ahead and set down 4 blocks right here so we can get up here, and we're going to go ahead and place down blocks going around these pistons, the trident killer, leaving this front section open where we have the blocks around this piston, as this is going to be where we stand when we want to collect the XP. Once we are done finishing off this row, we are basically done with the trident killer. All we need now is a slab inside of this hole. So let's grab our slab, place down the slab, and just like that, we are now safe. So this is basically the entire bottom bit. We just need to do the redstone and then build the spawning part. But we're done with the trident killer. Alright, heading around back now to the hoppers, we're going to grab our blocks and place down 4 blocks on the first 4 sets of chests. Then we're going to grab our comparators, and we're going to place down comparators coming out of all of these hoppers. So if you have to break a block like I just did, absolutely no worries. We got to get our comparators in there. Once you have your comparators in place, we can go ahead and grab our blocks, extend this out by 2 blocks right here. We're going to place down a temporary block and then a block down here. Extend this out so that it continues to the edge of our section here. And then we are going to grab our redstone repeaters, place down redstone repeaters facing towards the chests along these blocks that we've just placed. Take our blocks and we're going to place down blocks right next to the repeaters so that the repeaters are running into the blocks. And then we're going to grab our redstone torches and place down redstone torches on the backs of those blocks so that the redstone repeaters are going into the blocks, which are then going to deactivate the redstone torch. We're now going to grab our cobblestone, place down cobblestone going around back here, and we're going to grab our redstone and fill this in with all of our dust. And the awesome thing about this is it is completely tileable. It is going to have overflow, so these last 6 double chests are going to be full of armor and stuff like that. And then what we're going to have is we're going to have all of our items sorted into rotten flesh, gunpowder, or however you want to sort it. So we're going to do our item filters now, which is how this is actually going to work. Usually when I design an item sorter, I would recommend renaming your items for a filter item, but seeing as only drops from the farm are going to end up inside of the system, and hopefully you're not throwing stuff in here, I feel pretty confident in using something like a sticky piston as a filter block. Now you could use something like dirt, but I think sticky pistons just look cool for the sake of the tutorial. But again, you can just use dirt or any block that you don't think is going to end up inside of the farm. But make sure that your filter item is never going to go through here. What we're going to do now is we're going to grab our items, and let's say rotten flesh is going to be first. So we're going to place down 5 rotten flesh, and then we're going to take our sticky pistons, or again, whatever filter item you want, and we're going to place down 10 filter items in every slot. Now you might be inclined to think, oh, well, why don't we just place 11 filter items and 1 filter item that we want to sort? The issue with that is that if this system gets overflowed, it could eventually take that last rotten flesh, which would then make the system get a little bit confused. which would result in items that we don't want being sorted into the rotten flesh chest being sorted. So make sure that you have 5 and then 4 stacks of 10. We're gonna do the same thing for this. So we're gonna, and I'll just show you. So we're gonna do 6, or we'll do like 7, and we're gonna take our sticky pistons again, 10 sticky pistons, and you will see that all of the gunpowder is going to flow through until we have 5 items. Isn't that so cool? That is how item sorters work. So I'm going to do it for the rest of these, and again, these are overflow, so you don't need to do the sorter for those. And it's going to be a little bit hard to show you that the system works until we actually get this thing up and running with the spawn platforms, but as you see, every single one of these filters look exactly the same. We've got 5 of the item we're sorting, and then our 40 item filters. So if I go ahead and throw in like a couple arrows, we'll do like, a skeleton just died. Now, all of the skeleton drops are going to go in, and I think this is our arrow chest. So yeah, you'll see that there are 2 arrows there. This is our gunpowder chest. If I go ahead and throw in like 3 gunpowder, or none, because it's not going to go in. If I go ahead and throw in 3 gunpowder or 2 gunpowder, and I check in here, 3 gunpowder, I guess, then it's going to end up inside of there. So this is super cool. If you made the easiest design, this is where that ends, and you've made all of the changes. So yay! Look at your upgraded design now. How much better is it? Isn't it awesome? For those of you who aren't upgrading your design though, and are just building this from brand new, we are going to grab our blocks now, come over to this platform here, and actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and throw that lever on front of this piston, just like that. That way this thing isn't constantly turning. And we're gonna grab our blocks, and we're gonna build 18 blocks up, so that way there is a 20 block drop, which is going to damage our mobs that we're dropping down here. So again, 18 blocks up. And after building your drop chute, this is what it should look like. I really, really love walls of chests. They look so industrial and cool. They make everything look better. Once you have your drop chute though, we're going to come up here and we're going to extend this platform out by 8 blocks in every direction. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Same thing over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, only do 2, because if you do all 4, it's going to look like a certain symbol. But we're now going to connect up all of these to create a giant square, which is going to be a 20 by 20 square, which is going to be the basis of our spawn platforms. And after connecting everything up, this is what you should be left with. And of course, now you would go ahead and fill it in. But if you're in creative mode like me for some reason, you can go ahead and fill in your command that you forgot to edit. So we're going to go ahead and get rid of that D. And now everything is nice and full. So we're going to go ahead and remove this center bit here. Damn, I was really good at that. Okay, now that we have this center bit mined out, we are ready to go over to the rim of our farm. And we're going to create a rim going all the way around this spawn platform. So we're going to build a 20 by 20 rim. It is going to be 1 block tall, and then it is going to have a rim of stairs going on top of this rim of blocks. So we're going to finish this off and then grab our stairs. Once we are done with that rim, we're going to grab our stairs now. Place down your stairs. Oh my god, if I fly, it's so much faster. We're going to place down our stairs going all the way around here, and then once we're done placing down our stairs, we're going to grab our blocks. We're going to place down blocks going all the way around these stairs. And what this is going to do is it's going to make sure that no light is being let in through the stairs, because stairs are a transparent block. So you need to block them off with solid blocks, or nothing is going to spawn inside of your farm. So this is a very important step, and it's a lot easier to do it now than when you have giant walls preventing you from getting to the outside of your farm. Once you have this, it is starting to look a bit like a gladiator ring almost. We're going to create an infinite water source now, and we're going to place down just a simple little square with a 2 by 2 hole. Place in our 2 water buckets so you have an infinite water source. And of course, I mean, I have a water bucket, but if you use an empty bucket, you'll be able to grab a water source. Go ahead and fill in your stair, water bucket, stair, water bucket, stair, water bucket, stair. I think you guys get where I'm going with this. We got to do the entire farm. And if you've done everything correctly and everything is measured correctly, this water should go directly over to this rim so that all of the water is just on the very edge of this 2 by 2. And after waterlogging your stairs, you're going to want to place down these torches here, and you don't have to have them as organized as I do. I just wanted to make it look a little bit prettier for you guys than usual. And what these lights are doing, or these torches, is they're preventing mobs from spawning on this rim of blocks, which is going to speed up the rates of the farm, because these mobs that would spawn on the rim are no longer going to be taking up part of the mob cap, so these torches are relatively important, so I'd recommend placing them now while you still have the chance and it's easy to do so. We're now going to grab our blocks again and create another rim over top of these stairs. And what this is going to do is it is going to, again, just move the farm up. I'm just trying to fill the void with some words here. We're going to go ahead and fill in the rest of this rim just like that. And once you have this rim done, we're going to grab our blocks again. We're going to place down a temporary block and then a block, remove this block. And in fact, this is not going to be a block. This is going to be a packed ice. So we're going to replace it with a packed ice. We're going to go ahead and fill in all of this. Now you could use regular building blocks instead of packed ice if you want. However, using packed ice is going to make the farm slightly more efficient. So I would recommend using it if you have a Silk Touch pickaxe. But again, if you don't, you can use regular blocks. But since I am the one doing the tutorial, I thought it would be best if I gave you the best rates possible using packed ice. We're going to go ahead and line this up with the center of the farm, removing these 2 blocks. What this is going to do is it is going to create 4 miniature spawn platforms, which are each going to be 7 by 7 squares. So we're going to take each of these and continue them into a 7 by 7 square, which we can then fill in to make each one of our layers. Now, you can build 1 to 4 layers with this farm. I would recommend building 4 if you want maximum efficiency, but to be honest, you will have good rates even if you just do 1 layer. Having more layers is not going to double the amount that you generate. It is going to increase the amount, but unfortunately, it is not going to double it because there is a mob cap of 8 mobs that are able to spawn in the dark. So at any given moment, this farm maxes out at 8 mobs at a time, which unfortunately is just a limitation of Bedrock, because again, this is a Bedrock farm. Once you have filled in all of these platforms, we are ready to grab our trapdoors. Now, these trapdoors are going to be the same for each one of the spawn platforms, not just this layer, but if you're building 4 layers, you're going to have to do this 16 times. So we're going to grab our trapdoors now and place down trapdoors going all the way around the spawn platform. Once you've placed down trapdoors going all the way around the spawn platform, you can go ahead and open them up, but to be honest, it's probably quicker if you do these all at the same time. So like you did this one, and like you placed down all the trapdoors, then went ahead and closed them all. But I'm just going to show you how to do one of them. So we're going to place down a trapdoor in the center of, well, not the center. We're going to leave a 1 block gap, and we're basically going to create a grid pattern using trapdoors, and we're going to have a 3 by 3 grid like this. We can now go ahead and shut these trapdoors, and once you've done this to all of your spawn platforms, that layer is done. So imagine that I've got this on all of them, then that would be layer 1, and in fact, with the editing of magic, we should have that right now. After building all 4 of your spawn platforms, this is what it should look like. It looks really cool. I like to call it the waffle. Right now, it's looking a bit like a UFO almost. Kind of is like a UFO. I like it. We're going to grab our blocks now, and we're going to build up 2 blocks, and we're going to continue this rim so that it is 2 blocks taller. And what this is going to do is it's going to create a really easy system for me to structure block to create more layers, but it also makes the tutorial really easy to follow because we are literally building exactly what we just built, but on top of this layer. Unless, of course, you want to finish off the farm with 1 layer. If that's the case, we're just going to throw a roof on top. But we won't do that until the very end. I'm going to quickly show you guys how to use a structure block, actually, since you guys have stuck around this far, and it'll be extremely, extremely quick. All you need to do is once we finish this layer, you want to grab your structure block. Of course, you guys probably wouldn't be structure blocking this. We're going to go over to the corner here, and we're going to pick the bottom corner. Place down your structure block now, and we're going to set the coordinates. So as you can see, we've got the little diagram here. We're going to set this to 0 because we don't want to pick the bottom block up, so we want it to be nice and level with our spawn platform. It is 3 blocks tall, so we're going to set the Y to be 3. And do you guys remember how big the spawn platform was? It was 20 blocks by 20 blocks. Now that we have our area completely inside of the spawn platform, or inside of the structure block, we can go ahead and give it a name. We'll just name it spawn plat. We can go ahead and save it, saved in memory, switch it to load. Now I'm just going to pick block it. We're going to place it on top, go ahead and load it in, and just like that, we now have layers. Is that not so cool? I love structure blocks. They make my life so much easier. And now, hopefully, if you guys ever want to build something super big, you guys can use structure blocks, and it makes a little more sense. So now that we have all of our layers in place, it is looking extremely, extremely cool, and this is basically all we need to do. So we're going to throw a roof on top of the farm. Again, fill this in, 20 by 20 platform. Or if you're like me, we can just go ahead and place down the tildes, and we're going to go ahead and fill this with cobblestone. So once we have the roof filled in, we're going to go ahead and place down torches on the roof, which is going to allow us to not have mobs spawning on the roof, because again, that is going to take up from the mob cap cobblestone. There we go. And yeah, so now that we have this filled in, we can go ahead and grab our torches. We're going to place down torches on the top. I'm going to be honest, I don't have the energy to make it look nice like I did for the rim. So we're just going to torch spam it. And now that it's nice and safe and no mobs are going to spawn on top of it, this thing is basically done. All we have to do now is go back down here and go ahead and throw our trident into the farm. If you're AFKing at this thing, since phantoms exist, I would probably recommend building yourself a nice little enclosure so that you aren't being attacked by phantoms. I'm pretty sure the materials list only calls for 1 trident, but I much prefer using 2 just because it makes it a little bit faster. Go ahead and turn on your trident killer now. This is, again, your sorting system, so everything is going to end up down here. And we are ready to just sit and wait. The farm might take a minute to start up. I'm actually going to go ahead and check on it. And yeah. Alright, it takes a minute to start, but once it does start, it is started. So as you can see, I've got 6 levels already. All of the items are ending up inside of the chest. In fact, let me just go quickly show you that. So if we go ahead and check in here, you'll see rotten flesh, some gunpowder. Farm hasn't been on very long, but it is really cool how everything is getting sorted. Oh my god, I love item sorters. Okay, we're going to come back up here now, and we're going to AFK for about an hour to see how much XP we get, and also check to see how many items we get. But this thing is absolutely incredible. Make sure that you're holding a looting 3 sword if you want the most drops possible, because again, looting 3 is going to maximize the rates of this farm. And after an hour of AFKing, we have just under 50 levels, which is absolutely insane for a farm like this. These things are usually way slower. And if we come down here and we check out our items, you'll see that we have got quite a bit of rotten flesh, which would be great for trading with a cleric. We've got quite a bit of gunpowder. We've got, what is that? 5.5 stacks of gunpowder in an hour, almost 9 stacks of bones, 9 stacks of arrows, and then all of this stuff in here, which is crazy. This farm is insane. This is honestly one of the best farms that you can build in the entire game. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, then be sure to subscribe and leave a like. My name is 1UpMC, and I will catch you guys in the next one.